A ceiling fan doesn't actually lower the temperature of your home. If you were to place a thermometer in a completely sealed space and activate the fan, you would observe no reduction in temperature, not even by a fraction of a degree. In reality, if the fan operates for an extended period, the temperature reading might even increase due to the heat generated by the fan's motor. This is a fundamental misconception many people hold regarding ceiling fans, and it's a primary reason why 60% of homeowners currently misuse them. However, when utilized correctly, these fans can be incredibly effective tools, demonstrably capable of reducing summer cooling expenses by as much as 40% and making you feel up to 8 degrees cooler without altering the actual air temperature. But if the fan isn't cooling the room, where do these savings originate? And what is the simple error that over half of homeowners are making, which negates the benefits of using them? Let's investigate. Before delving into the common errors in operating ceiling fans, it's crucial to grasp precisely what these devices accomplish. The function of a ceiling fan has very little to do with the room's temperature and almost everything to do with the individuals within it. Our bodies constantly dissipate heat, and on a warm day, the primary mechanism for this is perspiration. However, for evaporation to occur effectively, there needs to be an avenue for the moisture to dissipate. When you are in an environment lacking airflow, your body heat creates a thin layer of air directly against your skin, which gradually becomes saturated with the humidity you release. This phenomenon is known as the thermal boundary layer, a stagnant, invisible cocoon of warm, moist air that adheres to you. As long as this layer remains undisturbed, fresh, dry air cannot reach your skin, hindering evaporation and leaving you feeling warm and clammy, even if the room's ambient temperature is quite comfortable. The sole purpose of a ceiling fan is to disrupt this thermal boundary layer. As the angled blades rotate, they draw air downwards from the ceiling and propel it towards the floor in a wide stream. This column of air impacts the floor, disperses outward, and then ascends along the walls, initiating a gentle circulating current throughout the room. As this moving air passes over you, it removes the warm, humid film from your skin, replacing it with drier air from elsewhere in the room. Evaporation, which had previously stalled, then accelerates. Each droplet of sweat that transforms into vapor draws heat directly from your body. This is referred to as the wind chill effect. The Department of Energy estimates that this sensation provides a perceived cooling equivalent of approximately 4 degrees Fahrenheit without any actual change in air temperature, and some studies suggest this figure could be as high as 8 degrees under optimal conditions. It is this perceived cooling that can significantly reduce or eliminate the reliance on energy-intensive air conditioning systems. A typical 3-ton central air conditioner consumes between 3,000 and 3,500 watts when operating. During the peak heat of an American summer, running it extensively can cost a household hundreds of dollars each month. Every degree you set your thermostat lower necessitates more compressor runtime, increased electricity consumption, and higher expenses, not to mention the initial cost of the unit itself, which includes substantial outdoor equipment, intricate indoor ductwork, and an installation fee that frequently ranges from $5,000 to $10,000. A ceiling fan, in contrast, presents a vastly different scenario. A conventional fan consumes between 50 and 70 watts on its highest setting, less than a single old-fashioned incandescent light bulb, while displacing 4,000 to 6,000 cubic feet of air per minute. It requires no ductwork, mounts to the existing electrical box in the center of your ceiling, and can be purchased and installed for a few $100s. Now, there's a crucial caveat that many homeowners overlook. The cost-saving potential of a ceiling fan is entirely dependent on your willingness to adjust your thermostat upwards and allow the airflow to compensate for the increased temperature. According to the Florida Solar Energy Center, each degree you raise your thermostat in the summer can reduce your annual cooling energy consumption by approximately 10 to 12%. However, the same study indicated that the inverse was also true. Homes that used a fan but did not adjust their thermostat saved nothing at all. In fact, their cooling energy usage actually increased by as much as 15% because they were essentially adding the fan's power consumption and waste heat to that of an air conditioner performing its existing workload. Another costly but incredibly common mistake is leaving ceiling fans running in unoccupied rooms. Without skin for the wind chill effect to act upon, such operation provides no cooling benefit while incurring 100% of the cost. This is a significant issue. Fans left operating in empty rooms are estimated to waste $2.1 billion annually in U.S. electricity. This is not akin to leaving a porch light on for aesthetic purposes. When you exit a room, the fan should be turned off with you. Before we discuss how to maximize the benefits of your ceiling fan, there's an important environmental factor to consider. The effectiveness of a ceiling fan hinges on your local climate having sufficient dry air to facilitate sweat evaporation. However, in conditions where a room reaches 95 degrees Fahrenheit with 90% humidity, the surrounding air is already so saturated that it cannot absorb any further moisture from your skin. At this point, the airflow ceases to cool you and merely circulates hot air. Therefore, a fan acts as a comfort enhancer, not a refrigerator. During the most extreme summer days, it requires the assistance of an air conditioner. It's also beneficial to briefly understand the distinction between contemporary fans and their predecessors. For the majority of the last century, ceiling fans were relatively basic appliances. In 1882, a highly productive German-American engineer named Philip Diehl was deeply engaged in research related to electric motors. He had recently achieved success in designing the very first electric motor for the Singer sewing machine, thereby freeing textile workers from the strenuous effort of manual foot pedals. However, Diehl recognized that his compact and powerful alternating current motor had applications extending far beyond stitching fabric. He adapted one of his sewing machine motors, mounted it directly to a ceiling, and attached two flat wooden blades to the rotating shaft. This marked the inception of the first electric ceiling fan. For the subsequent century, the vast majority of ceiling fans sold were powered by alternating current induction motors. While these motors were durable and inexpensive, they often emitted a low 60 Hz hum, which could be quite disruptive in a quiet bedroom at night. Furthermore, they typically offered only 3 speed settings, leading users to operate them at higher speeds than necessary, thus paying for airflow they didn't require. Modern versions, however, have addressed nearly all of these drawbacks. The significant advancement is the transition to a brushless direct current motor, commonly designated as DC or BLDC on the packaging. A small integrated converter transforms the home's alternating current into direct current and drives the blades using permanent magnets, eliminating the need for rubbing brushes. Consequently, the friction that previously dissipated as heat has been largely eradicated. The result is a motor that operates efficiently and almost silently, while consuming 75% less energy. We are also witnessing the widespread integration of intelligent, passive environmental control systems. Modern smart fans are equipped with onboard temperature and humidity sensors. They can seamlessly connect to your home's Wi-Fi network and communicate directly with your smart thermostat. As the afternoon sun warms your living room, the fan automatically detects the rising temperature and increases its speed to maintain your comfort level, delaying the activation of your energy-intensive air conditioner. The blades of these modern units have undergone a dramatic evolution. Rather than flat, heavy wood, high-end manufacturers now employ injection-molded plastics and carved balsa wood to create true aerodynamic airfoils. Modeled after airplane wings, these blades feature a thick, curved leading edge that tapers to a sharp trailing edge. This specific geometry generates an area of low pressure above the blade and high pressure below it, enabling the fan to smoothly and quietly draw air downwards without producing excessive turbulent wind shear. The most efficient of these fans bear the Energy Star designation and operate up to 60% more efficiently than conventional models. They also offer as many as 10 precise speed settings compared to the previous 3, and simply selecting a lower setting instead of rounding up can reduce power consumption by an additional 30 to 50%. A DC fan may have an initial cost that is $40 to $80 higher, but it typically saves around $50 annually in electricity costs, recouping the extra expense in approximately 12 to 18 months. Now that we understand their operational principles, let's discuss how to best utilize your ceiling fan. The most significant error most people make is operating the fan in the incorrect direction. Studies indicate that over 60% of individuals never adjust their fan's direction with the changing seasons. The direction of rotation is the critical factor determining whether a fan assists you or subtly works against you. During the summer months, the blades should rotate counterclockwise when viewed from below, directing a cooling column of air straight down onto occupants. If you stand directly beneath the fan and feel little to no breeze, it is spinning in the wrong direction. A small switch on the motor housing allows for reversal. However, in winter, the opposite is true. Operate the fan clockwise at its lowest speed, and instead of creating a draft, it will gently draw cooler air from the floor and circulate warmer air that has accumulated at the ceiling throughout the room. Once the fan is rotating in the correct direction, the remainder is a matter of simple discipline. Increase your thermostat setting by approximately 4 degrees Fahrenheit during the summer, and you will observe a noticeable reduction in your cooling expenses. Lower your thermostat by 1 degree in winter, and you will achieve equivalent savings on your heating bill. And of course, always turn off the fan when you leave the room. A fan that provides no cooling in the summer or no warming in the winter is simply an added expense. Ceiling fans represent a home cooling technology that has proven its efficacy for over a century. The underlying physics governing their operation has remained unchanged throughout this period. When used appropriately, they can significantly impact both your personal comfort and your energy expenditures. If you are interested in learning about additional methods to cool your home this summer, we invite you to view our guide to passive cooling. And if you would like to discover more overlooked, low-cost systems such as these, please subscribe to our channel. It is the easiest way to ensure that helpful tips like this continue to reach you.